Hi, irashaimase. Welcome back to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online, and if you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate if you purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. If you noticed, my little intro was a little bit different, and that's because we have with us a Grand Seiko watch. Probably the very first one we've ever reviewed on this channel, the first one we've ever had in our store. All right, Grand Seiko, if you didn't know, is actually made from the Seiko brand, the Japanese watchmaking company that introduced quartz movements, effectively beginning what was known as the quartz crisis, essentially starting off the entire watchmaking, flipping the entire watchmaking industry up on its head, because you could have far more accurate movements with quartz. Now, this is not a quartz movement because Grand Seiko, they have branched out into doing mechanical and automatic movements as well. So we'll be going over all of that as well here. This is the Grand Seiko. It is a GMT with a mechanical Hi-Beat 36,000 triple time zone. All right, reference number SBGJ237 All right, we'll be going over the case, the dial, bezel, crystal, the crown, movement, and the bracelet, and I'll be giving you my thoughts on them as we go through the video. But first, we've got to unbox this thing. This is an excellent timepiece right here. All right, so you open the box and you have this nicely textured paper in here, very reminiscent of Japan. All right. All right, and on the inside, we have a little warranty here, which when I open it up, has some explanatory notes about if you happen to get it magnetized, you probably don't want to do that, right? And of course, the Grand Seiko inspection certificate, certifying that the movement has passed all inspections of the Grand Seiko standard caliber number 9S86, which is the movement that we'll be going over here. All right, now let me pack this up nicely here, back into its normal case. It has a limited warranty book, also in English and other languages, so you can, read it obviously. All right, and mechanical operating instructions. Okay, now placing these all back in the box, nice and neatly. So when you think of Japan and Japanese precision, you think of exactly that, precision. So when it comes to trains, they run by the second, not by the minute. If a train is ever late, they issue late passes to all the passengers as a formal apology. So they pride themselves on everything being absolutely perfect to precise specifications, and this timepiece is no exception, especially when it comes to even the packaging. It has an excellent presentation here, a velvety texture, really. All right, and it comes in a little pouch, Grand Seiko pouch there. All right, with a nice sleeve to keep it nice and dust proof, but if you keep it nice within the box here, it will have no issue. Okay, so now onto the watch itself. This is the SBGJ237 Now, this watch is entirely made of stainless steel all the way through. Case, bezel, bracelet, all the way through there, all right? And we have some Japanese on the back, all right? So this is definitely Japanese engineering. And so what's interesting about this watch in specific is that the time zone, or rather the date aperture, is at the 4 o'clock position, and so is the crown, not at the 3 o'clock position like many other watches. And I think it's due to the fact that it really makes this a lot more of a rounded form factor. You barely notice that the crown is even there when you're wearing it, right? All right, so this case, again, stainless steel, and it is also a diameter of 44.2 millimeters from finger to thumb. It is 14.4 millimeters thick, so certainly not, it's really much more of a sports watch sort of form factor, not so much a dress watch. Oh yeah, and let's also remove some of these extra stickers here because, well, they don't really contribute anything. Okay. Very much cleaner presentation. There we go. Okay. All right, it has a glass coating on the curved sapphire crystal here. So note that the way that the light plays off of the crystal, it has an anti-reflective coating on the inside so that you effectively don't see the light bouncing off of the dial and back up onto the surface there and effectively creating double or triple vision. All right. It has Luma Bright on the hands, index markers, and the bezel as well. So if I turn out the lights, you can actually see that they certainly glow in the dark. You get a greenish hue to the daytime as well as the nighttime hours on this GMT bezel, which is, by the way, a bidirectional rotatable bezel. All right, you can see all the numbers clearly displayed, and you have the hour markers just for 12, 6, 3, and 9. The luminescence applied to the GMT hand, a 24-hour hand, along with the minute hand and the hour hand. Also, there's a tiny index at the 12 o'clock position, and with that high polish on the interior bezel, it really gives it that feeling of fullness. All right. All right, so I just couldn't contain myself with this. This is an excellent timepiece. Again, all stainless steel, high polish along the sides there, along the flanks of the watch, with a brushed steel finish on the front there. All right, with the crown at the 4 o'clock position with the Grand Seiko logo there. All right, and if you take a look at that 12 o'clock, it actually does radiate. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it does have a different way of looking at a different way of diffusing light. It sort of splits it up and sort of acts like a prism. I think you can see it right there. You can see all these different colors in it, and that's really attributing to how much attention to detail that Seiko has put into their Grand Seiko watch. All right. So the functions here, when it comes to how this works, simply unwind the crown. At the first position, you can wind the watch, easy enough. Pull out to the second position, and you can actually adjust the hour hand and by extension, the date, much like you would with any other GMT, all right? And moving it back also does regress the date backwards. Very handy. All right, pulling it out to the final position, you can then move the minute hand and therefore by extension the GMT hand, so that you'll know how to effectively keep track of time around the globe. All right, so I'll be also giving a demonstration as to how all of this works, how you can actually keep track of 3 separate time zones. That's right, 3 separate time zones with this GMT, much like how you would with a GMT Master 2 from Rolex. You can do so here with the Grand Seiko as well. All right, so note that when I pull the crown out to the final position, it does stop that seconds hand, so it gives you that hacking ability so you can set the time precisely to any particular time, right, to get it all started and to maintain that waterproofness down to 20 bar. That's 200 meters. You can take this diving, you can take it swimming, and, well, not deep diving, but you can certainly take it diving almost down to the depths of what you would, well, about 2/3 of the way down to what you would take for, say, a Rolex Submariner, all right? A deep diving watch, all right? So what makes all of this work? It is, again, the caliber 9S86, which is a caliber made in-house by Seiko. It has the automatic with manual winding mechanism, so meaning that there is a winding rotor inside here that allows it to effectively wind the watch with your natural wrist movements. It is accurate to +5 to -3 seconds per day. That is the Grand Seiko guarantee. All right, with normal usage being about +8 to -1 second per day when you're moving it around. It has a power reserve of 55 hours, so you can set it down on a Friday evening, pick it back up on a Sunday evening, and you can still keep track of time, no problem. It has a vibrations of 36,000 per hour, 10 beats per second, meaning 10 hertz. What does that mean? Okay, so in contrast to your standard Rolex, a standard Rolex beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, or 4 hertz. This beats at 36,000 vibrations per hour, 10 hertz. That is 250% times more movement, which means you get higher accuracy with that time. And as you can see, if you look very closely, Grand Seiko has actually nearly perfected this nearly imperceptible sweeping of that seconds hand. If you'll note, when you compare it to a Rolex, it has a tick, 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 a very fast 8 times per second hand movement, right? Whereas this is nearly perfect. You can't even see it moving, right? I'll give you a second to see if you can see that second is moving at all, but I don't see it at all. It's moving smoothly. It is perfect. All right. The movement inside has 37 joules, and it allows for that dual time function with the 24-hour display. And when it comes to the display, this dial has a midnight blue with actually has that kind of a sunray burst, a sunburst or sunray look, very, very dark. So you can only really see it when it's really bright outside, but it has those subtle details that just makes it really come together with the way that the bezel, the overarching, the dark parts of the bezel sort of all form together with this white part, the daytime, just sort of underscoring everything, just keeping it all held very nicely. All right, so altogether, this is held together with a matching stainless steel bracelet, 3-piece links, right, with high polish along the sides, as you can see. Brush finishing on the top with the outer edges of those intermediary links being high polish as well. So it gives it that sort of lined track look feeling. It's got kind of a sporty look to it. That leads us down to the folding clasp, which only opens with the push of these 2 buttons here, a deployment clasp, all right? So rather easy as you'd like. And keep in mind that with this sort of bracelet, you can only really size it by removing links or adjusting it within these little holes here. So keep in mind that if you need to get it sized, you have to actually physically change the bracelet. And while we're here, I can actually try it on and give you some of my thoughts. All right, so this bracelet is a bit large for me. My wrist is about 7.25 to 7.5 inches in circumference, so I can comfortably take out 2 or 3 links and I'll be just fine. All right, so how it wears on the wrist, the case is certainly heavier than that of the bracelet, but not by much. All right, so it feels like I'm definitely not swinging around a gigantic weapon on my wrist because it has a very, very light construction here. Feels very light. All right, and the overall feel, it's very comfortable with, even though these links are 3-piece links, they're rather large. It doesn't feel like, say, a Jubilee bracelet from Rolex, but it has those rounded interior portions to the links that makes it very comfortable, very supple, feels like you're wearing pillows, tiny little pillows across your wrist. All right, now I said I would demonstrate this and I am true to my word. So how do you keep track of 3 different time zones? Well, if you look at the inner bezel there, you actually have a 24-hour fixed dial right there with a rotatable bezel that rotates. So how does that all work? All right, so say you have your home time, say it is 10:15 where you are, all right, and you are traveling to, let's say, I don't know, I'm in Pacific Standard Time, so I'm gonna be traveling to somewhere in Florida, Well, actually my GMT hand is already 1 to 3 hours ahead, so I don't actually even need to move the time. But say I'm traveling from Florida. I'm not going to be in Florida anymore. I'm going to be in, oh, I don't know. Let's go to Texas. So 2 hours ahead, all right? Now note that moving the minute hand does move the hour hand as well. So you'll have to move to the second position and move it back to 10:15. Now I'm only 2 hours ahead, or actually 1 hour ahead. Sorry, I can't do math. And when an Asian can't do math, you know we're in trouble. Okay, so set it to 12:15 and have the hour hand set back to 10:15. All right, so now this GMT hand is now pointing to 12:15 in Texas. Well, we'll say that it is 12:15 past 15 minutes past midnight. All right, and now I just want to keep track of what time it is in Florida because I've still got some friends out on the East Coast, so I just need to move it over just a tick. All right, and now I'm effectively keeping track of Pacific, 10:15 p.m. The Texas time zone, Central time zone, 12:15 a.m. and Florida, 1:15 a.m. All right, effectively 3 separate time zones all on the same face of the watch. Now you can complicate this by setting, you know, your GMT hand to actual GMT time. So if I wanted to do that, I could do a -8. So if it is 10 o'clock here, I would have to set it to 2 o'clock. It would have been faster if I just moved it forward, huh? Okay, so now it is at 2:15, and then we've got to simply just move the hour hand back to 10 o'clock. Now I have true GMT time there, 2 o'clock with 10 o'clock PST. All right, and you can have fun with this, and you can use it for necessary timekeeping as well. So when it comes to Grand Seiko, you get nothing less than perfection. Absolute excellent workmanship here. And also taking a look at that case back, you can actually see the Grand Seiko logo, that lion there. All right, very beautiful, very, very nice, precise engineering all around. All right, so enough of what I think. What do you think of this watch? And if you like this video, hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification so you can be notified when we go live with another video. And as always, if you'd like to purchase this watch or any other watch, visit us in our online store, jazztime.com. Links in the description below. Arigatou gozaimasu.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.